Matthew 18. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 and go in search for that one that went astray? This is a very powerful verse from the Sermon on the Mount, teaching us that our God is a merciful God who chooses and wants everyone to be saved. If you think that you've been outcasted or you've been the person who's always been outside the inner circle, whether it's your friends, family, or society, and you feel like you're the person always goes a different direction than the rest, but now you find yourself in a position where you're alone and you're out of track with the rest of your friends or society, and that can have its pros and cons. You could be seen as the interesting character, the, what do you say, the chaos figure, but at the same time that brings a tremendous amount of sadness in itself, because you're navigating waters that you really can't ask for help from anyone else. And now you put yourself in this position where the only person you can rely br- comes down to yourself. Not that it's a bad thing to ask for help. I don't think you should ever feel that you can't ask for help any point in your life, whether it's your friends and family. That mindset in itself is wrong. But if you're like me and have a little bit of pride in yourself, you might find yourself in a position where you're not really the kind of person who asks for help. Coming from me personally, I've been trying to run this agency uh, by myself for some time now, and things are in a very dire situation. Looking back, maybe I should have asked for help or worked with other people to get on it. Maybe I should have went for a reliable job in which there's a corporation or a system of people that really, progresses the entire organization forward, rather than, relying just on myself to build this solo agency. And now I'm caught in a position where, like at the current moment, work is slow, finances is low, and I'm stuck in a stagnant situation. Doesn't mean that I'm not constantly working every day trying to improve myself. But sometimes, in the midst of this, negative emotions and thoughts do fill your mind of whether, you're gonna make it, whether you will be even financially stable or have something that you can look back and say, hey, it wasn't a total waste, what I was going through. So, coming back to my earlier verse of the 99 sheep, sometimes you feel like that one black sheep that chose its own way and just went astray. But there is some comfort in knowing that God would leave the 99 to come and search for you to bring you back to his flock. And if God comes and searches for me, know that I'm the one who's searching for him. Actively, I've been relying on my own inner voice, my own self, almost acting like a rebel against what society or what my parents or what the general flock decided was the norm. So I always went against the norm. But it's not always pros in the end, is it? Sometimes, like, we don't really know what the future holds. Like, no one predicted the exponential rise in AI to come. That in itself has caused a massive catastrophe in the job market for almost everyone. And for someone like me who's mainly a video editor and in the marketing field, I would say, that also has a big catastrophe on my career. And now I'm thinking of, okay, should I switch tracks? Like, how do I just switch careers at the age of 27? Do I, is there any job that's going to be safe when AI, like, goes so mainstream if it hasn't already? But what I'm trying to say is that no matter which or what position you find yourself in it, no matter how dire it is, no matter how bleak and empty it feels, know that God is always with you. And you should never judge too harshly on yourself, because what is success? Success is something. that is a perceived value. We can put a value of what success is for us, but at the same time, for another person, success is a totally different baseline. And this baseline keeps changing depending on where you are in your life, depending on where you came from, the family you were born into, the society or the country you were born into. It's totally subjective and different. There is not an objective scale of what success is, right? It's something that you put on yourself, and it can be both a blessing and a curse, something that motivates you or something that keeps you down and nihilistic. But whatever may be the case, know that the true measurement of value is not decided by us, it is decided by God. And that's the value that we should uphold to, a very moral value God wants us to follow. And it's quite simple, actually. What He wants us to do is meditate upon His words, follow His commandments, and live a simple, charitable life. I know simple doesn't mean it's easy, but nonetheless, it is in the long run a much more enjoyable and fulfilling life rather than chasing empty temporal idols. I would say live in the internal character roots. Live in the eternal characteristics of God is what I would say, because ultimately that puts yourself and your soul in a much safer place no matter where you are in your life. And you can have this faith that I'm doing in my work, not that it is my work that is saving me. Ultimately, it's not my work, it is the work of God Himself who pulls me into the right direction, into the right mindset. But praying to Him to put me in that position, praying to Him for the good of my family and my friends, praying to Him, actively meditating in the Word. That's something that doesn't demand too much from us. That is something that if you feel like you're in a position where you have nothing else to lose, go for that. Take the scriptures, read the words, and meditate upon His words. Truly, truly, I've seen so many people talking about how it is God who brought them out of obscurity and into success or into a good life. And that's what I'm trying to do here as well. I may not be in the best situation in my life at the current moment, but I know it's a up and down curve. Sometimes if things are low, things will naturally go up. That's just the way of life. But throughout all of this, if you can maintain a constant relationship with God and develop upon that relationship, truly in the long run, that will give you more exponential growth, more happiness, and more content than anything else that this world has to offer. So, yeah, even if you're that one sheep that went astray, don't be afraid. Pray to God, and He will come and lift you up. And not only will He be happy about it, He will make an entire celebratory feast of His one sheep that was lost. Now, this is day 2 of my daily recordings in which I speak raw, unfiltered to the camera, trying to be inspired by the divine word. It's not perfect. Of course, nothing in life is. But right now, I think we can embrace a little bit of perfection in this too perfect AI world, right? Sometimes you just need that raw human touch. So, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, brothers.